My name is Ray Pepperell. I'm 26 years old. My friends would describe me as weird, but dedicated and quiet. I believe in love at first interaction. Not necessarily at first sight. Like, if I saw someone, I don't think I would instantly fall in love with them. But the first time I met someone, that first interaction, at least for me, definitely is a make or break. We met in 2020. She loves telling this story. I first met Sydney on the dating app Hinge. When we matched, she saw a picture of me working at summer camp with my scout uniform on and like 20 or so clothespins just pinned to my beard. And she saw that and she was like, hey, he looks interesting. I'm gonna like this guy. And I saw her and saw her profile. I was like, hey, she's a theater kid. She's very pretty. Kind of the polar opposite of who I was dating beforehand. And I was like, let's go try this. So we met on Hinge, we matched on Hinge, we talked for about a week, 2 weeks. After some talking for a little while, we both agreed we should just meet up in person, even if it's not like a date, because at the time she wasn't looking for anyone to date. So she was just looking for someone to hang out with and sort of take her mind off of things. And so our first time meeting in person, we walked around the Mall of Georgia, and one of my first thoughts was, my God, this girl can talk. But it wasn't bad. We walked around the mall for a few hours. We went and got food, we had lunch, and we just kept talking. There was nothing that we didn't talk about. It felt natural. First impression of her was, my God, this girl talks a lot. But it was also like, she doesn't care what other people think. And I thought that was really great. Because even at the time, like, she wasn't looking for anyone today. I was looking but didn't really care if I ended up dating someone at the time. It just sort of happened. So when we met, she was unapologetically herself, and I was like, this girl is really cool. I think I could definitely see, if we don't end up dating, I could see her as one of my friends. Our first date was at a Chili's. It was Halloween, but it was at like 2:30 in the afternoon. We called it a date, but it didn't feel like a date because we had already been hanging out for a couple months at that point. So when we said, hey, let's go on a proper date, it didn't feel like a first date. Because again, she was actively not trying to date anyone. And I guess the more I hung out with her, the more I was like, hey, let's date. Let's, like, come on, please. I'm not going to say she was rejecting me, but she was also not putting in any effort whatsoever. Our first kiss, we were out in front of her house and just sort of happened. I like to describe it as when you're a little kid and that feeling of opening up your presents on Christmas Day. Things started to feel serious when she would bring me lunch while I was working. She has recently said, like, oh, I would bring you food and bring you stuff while you were working as an excuse to come hang out with you and see you. And I'm like, yes, I know you did. You ain't slick. And so with her doing that, it felt like, yes, it wasn't a romantic thing, but it was definitely more than just friends. I really can't remember who said I love you first. I was actively not trying to say it yet, but I had an inkling that I was in love probably the second time we hung out. We sat and talked for hours in a cookout parking lot, and there was an inkling of something when we were sitting there, and she just kind of put her head up on my shoulder. I knew she was the one because I've never felt this comfortable and close with anyone, and this specific feeling, I've never felt it with anyone. I love her because she's everything I needed. What's different about this relationship is I really don't have to hide anything from her. She is more comfortable than any of my previous relationships with what I do, even if it kind of annoys her. But she understands that I'm not just doing something for no reason. And then the stuff that I am that makes me me, she embraces that. Like, I'm a tech nerd. I tinker with computers and I built my computer. She loves that. I do theater. She is the reason I do theater again. She is the reason that I have gotten into my weird hobbies that I have only thought about doing, like D&D. All of that stuff is because I feel like I don't have to hide anything from her. Something that I wish everyone could see about her is how she's passionate. She's very passionate about everything that she does, even if it gets to the point where she spirals. She gets very passionate about anything that she cares about. If she cares deeply enough about something, she will put her heart, mind, and soul into it. What made me decide to propose was her. She was on me about, like, when are we getting married? I want to get married. And I'm like, okay. I have always had this plan of, like, I don't want to propose to someone while I'm still living at my parents' house. And we had made plans of, like, we're going to move out at the end of this year. We're gonna have our own place. And I really just couldn't wait. So at that point, that's when I was like, I have the means, I have the opportunity. She actually bought her own engagement ring. And so I was like, perfect. And it really just, everything lined up to where I could be like, I feel comfortable with proposing. I proposed to her in the lobby of the theater that I had just finished up doing a show with. We had just done Hunchback of Notre Dame, which is her favorite musical in the world, aside from Wizard of Oz. And I was Quasimodo in that production. One of her biggest things she told me when we first started dating was, I want to be proposed to in a theater. It's always been my dream. So instead of on stage in front of everyone, I chose a very nice, elegant lobby of the theater. So that way it was still in the theater, in her, like, happy place, but it was secluded and not a spectacle. What surprised me most is there's still things that we haven't learned about each other. You could be with someone for 6, 10, 30 years and still not know every little thing about them. And it's surprising that when you do come across those little bits of, like, oh, I haven't learned this about you yet, it's always a fun little surprise. Before I loved her, I always thought of myself as lost. My previous relationship had kind of warped my sense of what love was. It also warped my sense of who I was. Now that I love Sydney, I am more confident in my decisions that we make together. Love and marriage is a team effort, and I've found my teammate. Partnership to us is, I've been the logical thinker of our relationship. I always make the somewhat joke of, like, oh, I feel like a robot because all I can think about is logic and reason and, like, planning and moving forward. Like, how do we get from point A to B? And she is on the other side of the spectrum where she feels emotions incredibly well. She feels them arguably enough for both of us. That's what equal is to me. Like, we have me planning everything out, and we have her kind of playing devil's advocate for everything. And it keeps me grounded while also lifting her up. With her, I can just shut down. I don't have to plan. I don't have to think. I can just be. I can just exist with her and not have to worry about anything. She gives me that space to just shut down and, like, turn off robot brain. And I hate that I'm putting it this way, but she lets me be a human boy again. And that makes me feel safe. She is home. That's really all I can say, is she is my home. She is what I imagine at the end of every day. She is who I want to be with at the end of every day, closing out every day. That's what home is to me, is just her. I admire how passionate she is. She is very, very passionate about what she likes and what she believes in. I may not always agree with it, but I will always, 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 always admire that. And she doesn't let anyone else sway that belief. She makes me smile by being able to just turn off the serious for however long we need to and just be, for lack of a better way of saying it, be stupid. She's changed my life by showing me that I don't have to hide who I am. I don't have to hide the things that make me me, like any of my hobbies, the way I feel about certain things, the way I believe certain things, any of that. I don't have to hide me in order to feel accepted. No one else notices how she lifts me up. She keeps me grounded, yes, when I'm planning and building, but she also lifts me up by making sure that I can build up to those high places without feeling like I'm gonna fall. Because we've been together for so long, romance is remembering the little things that happen in life that make up someone's story. Between the two of us, I hope that the effort never changes. The motivation behind the effort can change, but the level of thought and effort that goes into anything that we do for each other, I hope that never changes. Love today means adaptability. You can love someone as much as you want, but how you love someone needs to change. Like, when someone has a problem, you need to be able to ask yourself, do they need a solution, or do they just need someone to be there for them? Like, finding that person's needs and being able to meet those needs, even if it's not what you want to do. I used to think that love meant a feeling. The butterflies in your stomach when you see this person, or all I can think about is this person and how they make me smile and all of that. And yeah, that's still part of it, but at the same time, it's chasing the feeling that they need. She is my life. She makes me want to move forward in my life and gives me that encouragement while also grounding me so I don't get too lofty in my pursuits. Your flaws don't make you. Yes, everyone has flaws, but that's not who you are. Your flaws are just part of who you are, but you're so much more than that. And that's what I love about you. No matter how in your head you might get, I'm always going to choose the good over the bad. Because the good is what I fell in love with. The good is what I want to help. And the good is what makes you, you. And I really, really can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you. I love you, Sid.